Welcome to All Chiefed Up. I'm Steve. I'm here with Mike. Today was the first day of training camp for veterans. Of course, Orlando Brown wasn't there, but you know who was? Everybody else. So, hey, Mike, I saw some cool
Yeah,
clips from camp today. It looked like it was the Juju Smith-Schuster and Patrick Mahomes show.
it was. Patrick looked pretty good. He looked pretty spot on. Juju definitely was the highlight of the day. He had some
Man,
diving catches.
yeah, that layout to catch that ball was just awesome, dude.
Dude, he looked pretty good today, which I seen an interview afterwards and he had said, he's just getting rolling, but he attributed to all of them getting together, in Texas and different things and getting some chemistry built. So big things ahead for this team, I believe,
Well,
man.
that's what I noticed from it. It's like first day of camp, and him and Mahomes already seem to have this like seamless chemistry together, which is amazing because that's going to go a long way as the season gets started. If you've been enjoying the content, make sure to hit the like button on all the videos. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1,000 before the season starts. Also, hit the little bell so you get notifications when we come out with new content.
Okay, some other notes for the day. There was 3,000 season ticket holders there today, which was a lot. Tomorrow and the rest of the weekend is going to be open to the public. So if you guys are going this weekend, prepare for some long lines, some traffic. It's going to get wild out there, man. I wonder what the rookies thought about seeing all that, for the first time because Chiefs
Yeah, that's
fans are
just
wild, dude.
just a very, very small taste of what they're getting ready to get into. So I think they're probably enjoying it. They were probably pumped. I did see Pacheco getting worked out. He looked pretty good. He looked fast. He looked like he was playing hard. Man, he just looks like he fits. Like I feel like he's gonna do big things. As a seventh round pick, I feel like he's gonna be a steal, man.
Yeah, like I said, we've comped him to Adrian Peterson in the past. We've comped him a little bit to Kareem Hunt. But yeah, he's kind of got that feel, kind of like when we drafted Kareem Hunt, and everybody was like, "Oh, who was that? Is this going to work?" But I feel like Pacheco just has that it
Yeah.
factor that he's just going to just seamlessly like roll with these guys. I really
Yeah,
do.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Just when I watch him play and just see him and hear him talk and everything else, it's just like, how did this dude go in the seventh round? Especially being the fastest running back in the draft. Makes no sense to me, but I love it.
Everyone was there today, except for Orlando Brown, as you said before, but Fenton Yang, they were out. But Frank Clark, he missed
Was
the first
late.
half of practice. Well, they
Yeah.
said that Andy said that he had to do some testing. I'm guessing it's probably like a physical or a conditioning test, but he got that taken care of. They said he was a little sick too. So, but he got out there. We actually have some clips of him like showing some stuff to George Karloftis, working with the dummies and different things. So, and the bags. So, I mean, kind of cool to see like that thing, like Frank Clark being a leader, and helping the young guys. That's pretty cool.
Speaking of Frank Clark and old Seattle Seahawk defensive ends, Carlos Dunlap was in Kansas City getting worked out today, which is great for a lot of Chiefs Kingdom who's been yelling, "Hey, let's get Carlos Dunlap." He did have 8.5 sacks last year. He's just still got some gas left in the tank, so could be a good addition for the Chiefs. Do you think they sign him up after this workout?
I don't know what they do. I do know that they are looking for somebody. They brought in Chris Odom, who was the USFL defensive MVP this year. Um, he's been worked out by the Bengals, the Cardinals, the Saints, but they brought him in for a workout today too, I believe. So I don't know what they're doing, but they're definitely looking for something, which is probably no surprise. But I feel like if I'm Austin Edwards, if I'm Malik Herring, it kind of lights a fire under me to be like, hey guys,
Yeah,
we got to get going. They're looking for somebody. I want to make this team. And I believe Edwards and Malik Herring are still the two best options. I don't know much about Odom. I do know he's 6'4, 260 and had 41 tackles, 8 for a loss, 12 and a half sacks, and 6 forced fumbles in just 10 games in the USFL this year. So that's a lot of numbers, but
also
competition level,
the
who knows?
USFL. Carlos Dunlap would be a great signing if the Chiefs can get it on a team-friendly contract because he's going to fill right in where Melvin Ingram left off. He's like an older guy, he's more experienced. He's been there, he's done that. He can bring some leadership to that defensive end room because, I mean, really, if you look at the D line, besides Frank and Chris Jones, you don't really have a whole lot of experienced veterans that are going to be leading that pack there. You got a lot of young guys like George Karloftis, Mike Dana, Joshua Kando, and then of course you're looking at Malik Herring and Austin Edwards. They're all young guys with not a lot of experience.
Yeah, you're right. And we had talked maybe about trading for Robert Quinn or whatever, but I just don't think that's a possibility anymore, especially with the news of Kelsey getting a bump up in his contract today. They moved some of the back end
Hey,
forward for him.
well deserved. Well
Yeah.
deserved.
For sure. But I think that pretty much probably knocks off Quinn unless Quinn comes in and signs a totally new deal from scratch. But during the video, you can link the video if you want. We had talked about Quinn, but we had a few people. Casey Dre says, why trade assets when there's still a free agent? In parentheses, Carlos Dunlap. So that's one guy who called it. And then another guy who calls it out, and I want to give him some credit. Matt Vanway says, I would definitely sign Carlos Dunlap as opposed to trading for Quinn, but anything is better than nothing. So just a shout out to a few of those people that comment in our comment section, man. We talked about Orlando Brown not being there. There's people's got their thoughts over that, but it looked like Roderick Johnson took the first team snaps today at left tackle. What do you think about that one?
I think they're all going to get some first team snaps with Orlando Brown being out. Like I said yesterday, you'll see Darian Kennard, Wiley, Christian, and Roderick getting some looks from the left side because why not? I mean, OBJ is going to play. He's going to play week 1. That's when he's coming back. You probably won't see him in training camp, but he'll be there week 1. But if he were to go down sometime throughout the year, they still have to have a backup plan. And I don't think the best backup plan is to necessarily push over your left guard to tackle. So I think they're going to give all those guys some looks at that position.
Orlando Brown not being at camp concerns me just a little bit because he's not getting his body in shape. And I'm so afraid that he's going to want to come in at the very end of camp and try to just start, but that's going to cause him a lot of injury problems or something. And it's like, I get it, but the Chiefs can't offer him anything else this year. Like it's all done. We can't do anything else. So he can whine or pull his little stunts or whatever he wants to do, but he needs to get in camp because he's only hurting himself at this point because soft tissue injuries, things like that, those are the number one. And when he's not getting his body right, he could come back week 1 and not taking these reps. You know, the dude hasn't even took a snap with a helmet on since the AFC Championship game.
I mean, I agree with you. I think he should be in camp just for himself because he's only hurting himself by not being there. But I mean, it depends
That's
on
the
what
only way he's gonna. That's the only way he's gonna make his paycheck.
Well, right. I mean, he's gonna play. I don't know why people think he's gonna hold out all year. He's not pulling a Le'Veon Bell or anything like that. But it really just depends on Orlando Brown. Yeah, you didn't show up to camp because you didn't get a long-term deal done, and that's just how things go. We understand, but are you taking care of yourself? Are you working out on your own? Are you doing the work? If you put in the work, then he might be fine. But it really just depends on what he's doing.
In my opinion, where it's like he can hold out, he can do what he wants. I mean, it's all contracts and money at the end of the day, but it's one of those things where I feel like he's got to grow up a little bit and just get to camp. Like I feel like if you come into camp on time, in shape, and you're there, you're showing respect for your team, you're showing respect for your teammates and the goal that you guys have. And I feel like if he doesn't get there and he wants to hum ho around for a while, I feel like some of these guys are going to start questioning his loyalty to the team and what his intentions are. And I feel like it could be a cancer, you know, at some point in that locker room if he don't hurry up and get in there, man. That's just the way I see it.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it, to be honest. I think that's pretty normal. It's pretty run of the mill for a guy that was in a contract year and they didn't get it done to not show up to camp. Heck, a lot of the veterans just don't show up to camp anyway. So I'm glad that we don't have a team like that. But I mean, there's players all across the league that don't show up to camp just because they don't have to. I did notice that Justin Reid got a interception today.
He did. We got a nice little clip of that I'm sure you'll either throw up or going to throw up. And he looked pretty good. I seen him afterwards. He said that he thought this defense could be shut down. They could be locked down defense. And I mean, I kind of agree with him. If the rookies can come in and contribute well, we can get our defensive line together. Our linebackers like Willie can stay healthy this season. Juan Thornhill can come back and have a big year. I believe this. I believe he's right. I believe it could. This defense is changing for the better.
And a lot of people are worried about Rashad Fenton's injury, but I mean, I think they're really sleeping on Lonnie Johnson because, yeah, granted, he didn't have a great year the last couple of years in Houston, but as we've mentioned before, he was out of position. Like he came out of college as a very athletic, like great cornerback that was very highly sought after in the draft. He actually went, what, second round?
Yeah.
And I mean, he's got the ability to get out there and be a game changer, and he's going to be in his normal position this year. He's going to get the opportunities, especially with Fenton's not playing at the beginning of the year. And I think people are sleeping on him. So this defense, they could be an absolute unit by the end of the year after all these guys mesh up. Because I'm sitting here thinking, L'Jarius Sneed, Trent McDuffie, Lonnie Johnson, Juan Thornhill, Justin Reid, Brian Cook, like that's a solid secondary, man.
Yeah, you're right. And so our defense threw out, here's the starters they threw out on the field today. Spags threw out Chris Jones, Derek Nottie, Karloftis, and Dana because Clark come in late. Obviously, he didn't
Right.
take snaps. Nick Bolton, Willie Gay, Elijah Lee, as we have been saying, he was taking first team snaps and he did get first team snaps. They started Sneed and Trent McDuffie got the other corner and slotted Fenton over Josh Williams, who's had a big camp so far, we thought, and Lonnie Johnson as well. But they give the nod to McDuffie there. And then, of course, they put Juan Thornhill over Cook on the back end, which we thought they would early. And then Justin Reid was the other starter. So it's one of those things where, like, training camp, Kansas City and the coaches, they can't hide too much at training camp. That's what's beautiful about training camp. They put the guys on the field that they think are going to be there because they've got to hurry up and get this team as a unit. It was just last year, Juan Thornhill wasn't out there with the ones. And we were asking Andy Reid, why is Thornhill not out there? And he's like, don't read into it too much. But then when the season came, Thornhill was nowhere to be found and he had a horrible season. It was a big down season for Thornhill. So that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, so you're seeing right off the bat, if you watch camp closely, you see who these coaches are favoring at certain positions. And I thought it was kind of weird that Lonnie Johnson, as you said, didn't get those first team reps over McDuffie.
Well, I mean, I could see McDuffie getting him over Lonnie Johnson, but there's going to be more times than not. There's going to be three cornerbacks on the field, so those three, those are going to be taking most of your snaps if Fenton's out.
Right. And then, of course, probably Elijah Lee comes off the field and you
Right.
substitute third safety Cook or Leo. I think that's a rotational spot.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's pretty much. And then the last big news of the day, man, Clyde was not on the pup list after all the
Look,
hum hoing on Twitter.
so here's the way I look at Clyde. Like he's always on some sort of list, okay? Like even when he's clear and he's playing, like you might as well just be ready for him to be on the pup list tomorrow or the IR next week, or you just can't put any stock in him right now. And that's really, really hurting him because I think Clyde actually does have talent and he has the ability to succeed in the NFL. I mean, he's averaging like 4.4 yards per carry. He's good, but he's just not living up to, first of all, his first round draft pick, which obviously is not his fault at all that he was, reached on. But I mean, you've got to keep yourself healthy. And if you're having a lot of trouble and you're just having a lot of bad luck, then so be it. But man, you've got to work and make sure you stay out on the field.
I like Clyde. He's a high character guy. He seems like he's not like a attention hog. He puts his head down, he goes to work, he does what he needs to do, but he just can't seem to catch a break. He can't get over that hump health wise. But I'm with you. It seems like it's constant. Like it just seems like every other play you're just waiting for him to leave the game injured or something. It's constant pup list back and forth, and it gets tiring because you want
Yeah.
a number one pick that's going to come in and be the workhorse. You see what Jonathan Taylor, he got drafted 9 picks later, and you see what he does. It gets frustrating. So I get it, but
I,
apparently that whole pupless thing was a
I
misunderstanding.
think I
Apparently,
no, I think I know what happened actually. Have you
okay,
seen
what do you
that?
think?
Have you seen that video of him riding the mini horse?
No, he hurt himself on a mini
I think
horse.
the mini horse bucked him off and hurt his pride and his self esteem and maybe a shoulder or something, and he had to be out and he just got put on the pup list because mini horse got him.
I had heard that it was possible that the mini horse didn't get him, that it was a conditioning issue where once the players report on Monday night and Tuesday, they do conditioning test, and he didn't get to do his test. And so Andy Reid was like, he's going to be on the pup list till he can get that test. And apparently he
Yeah,
passed it. So that's what some people are saying that's what happened. I just wanted to throw that out there, but I like the mini horse theory better. So we'll go with the mini horse theory.
I like it too. But you know what? Either way, Clyde, if he's healthy and he's playing, he's still got to step his game up because he's got Pacheco and them right on his heels, man. And they're young guys with a lot of promise. So,
Dude. And Pacheco is already turned into a fan favorite. Uh,
right.
our fans love Derek Gore. Our fans like McKinnon. Our fans are excited to see Rojo. Like he's got to step it up. Like
And
so,
Ely's starting to get his name thrown around with the way he's been performing in
yeah.
camp. So, I mean, he's got a lot of competition.
Oh, something about Ely. Since we said Ely, we had talked about him doing the wide receiver running back row, right?
Right.
Today, Andy and a few of them threw around Sky Moore doing that exact same thing, saying he can maybe take snaps at running back, that he had running back legs and could play that dual role. So wait, did they take our idea and put it on Sky? Because I think Ely could do it better.
I think so too. I don't think they'll have Sky running out of the backfield. very much, but they might have some plays drawn up for it. I mean, last year, I don't think anyone was really expecting McCole Hardman to take snaps out of the backfield, but
Right.
he did. So I think that's something that's open to a lot of our receivers. If we got a lot of guys like Hardman and yeah, Sky Moore now and Jerry and Ely, they can all be used in so many different ways, kind of like Debo was used over in San Francisco. Not saying they'd be at that level of that, but I mean, they all have the ability to be versatile.
But I'm with you. Versatility is the word of the year on our offense. Even Juju said it today. He said that it doesn't matter when you come in here, you're running the whole route tree. You can go inside, outside, and that's every receiver across the board. And he's very impressed with that. So we have a lot to contend with. It's just not take away Tyreek over the top and we're screwed now. Now you've got some options here to mess with. So
Right. And the main thing about this team that I absolutely love, you got a bunch of guys that are getting disrespected over and over again by fans, analysts alike. You got Mahomes, who's, apparently Josh Allen's better than him now, no doubt. And then you got McCole Hardman, who's never going to get there. He's on his breakout year, but he's never going to have a breakout year. You got Juju Smith-Schuster, who was dominant in Pittsburgh early and just had some injuries, but now he's no good. And it's like they forgot that he was getting 1,000-yard seasons and things like that. We have a lot of guys with a lot to prove, and I think they're ready to get out there and do it. So I really love the attitude this team has right now.
I'm just excited that Camp's back. I'm excited the Chiefs are back.
Football's back.
The boys are back in town.
The boys are back in town.
Back. But yeah, man. So before we wrap it up, I want to ask you one question, camp related.
All right.
You have attended a football camp before. What is your favorite football camp memory and your least favorite football camp memory? Sorry to put you on the spot.
I don't know if there's one particular memory from being at camp that's my favorite, but I mean, it's always cool just to watch the guys get out there and work the kinks out and kind of see what Andy Reid has up his sleeve with the plays and everything like that. Worst camp moment was the displeasure of meeting Frank Clark. I'll throw that out there. That guy is a D-bag. But dude, I don't care how much of a D-bag you are. I hope you stay healthy this year, and I hope you actually look like Frank Clark and not like some bum like the last year. Chiefs Kingdom, thanks for joining us today. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the content. Make sure to get down in the comments and talk about what you saw at camp, what you like, what you're excited about, all that good stuff. Once again, if you have not subscribed yet, make sure to get down there and hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell so you get notifications when we come out with new content. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the season starts. We're at about 720-ish right now, and I think we can see it climb. We just need your guys' help. Tell your friends, family, Chiefs fans, get over to YouTube and check out All Chiefed Up. Thanks for joining us today, and we will be back at you later on.
Don't be afraid to throw those subs around, boys.
Do it.
See ya.
Aside from my soul.